overnight hours in this Willoughby Hills, Ohio home, social worker Lisa Knafel is sleeping in her bedroom. Her husband, Kevin, is away at work. When suddenly, violent screams wake their teen daughter, Megan.
911, what is your emergency?
17-year-old foster daughter Sabrina Zunich is on top of Lisa in a violent rage, stabbing the woman who gave her a new home.
What is going on? What is going on? What is going on? Hello?
Responding officers arrived to find Sabrina covered in blood.
She came out of the bedroom when she had both hands raised in the air, and she had a very large bread knife in her right hand.
The loving foster mother she'd been living with for less than 2 years lay lifeless on the floor, covered in knife wounds.
I could see Lisa's body laying along the wall, in between the bed and the wall.
A scene so gruesome, it stunned this veteran cop.
I've been an officer for 23 years now, and I've never seen anything that bloody before.
And this young teen, with her hands covered in bandages, claims she can't remember a thing.
What's your thoughts on how Lisa is not alive now?
What?
Sabrina Zunich was thrilled at the chance to live with a new family.
My social worker told me that I had foster parents wanting to interview me.
And Lisa and Kevin Knafel were no strangers to fostering children.
It was my belief that they were both on board. They were both excited to have her in the house and to become part of the family.
And the couple's 2 biological daughters created an atmosphere Sabrina craved.
I wanted a foster home. I wanted that family structure. And when she told me, I kind of cried a little bit.
Sabrina said she was excited. She was out of foster care and she had a home, and she felt that she was going to be there until she graduated high school.
But just 18 months later, Sabrina sits in an interrogation room saying she can't remember what would cause that joy to turn into evil rage.
What do you recall?
Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Getting done with my homework? Getting, I don't know, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bed.
She also can't explain her wounded hands.
So you don't know what's wrong with your hands?
They had me asleep and cut because they told me that.
They were cut? It's cut pretty bad?
French stitches.
How many?
5.
Or what could have possibly caused her to act so violently.
You had an argument or anything with Lisa last night?
No.
No?
Everything was fine.
And as detectives try to jog her memory by telling her she killed her mom.
What's your thoughts on how Lisa is not alive now?
What?
What is your thoughts on that she is not alive? Maybe you didn't understand. That's what we're talking to you about.
She didn't kill me.
Mm-hmm. She said that.
You should have told me I did it.
Yes. Most of that blood was probably hers.
She actually cried when I told her that, she was the one that killed her, and she acted like she was surprised, showed a lot of emotion.
For over an hour, it's the same story. Sabrina insists she can't remember anything from that night.
Have you had these type of issues in the past where you just don't remember things?
I'm not positive. I mean, I know I was in other group homes. When I was in a fight with other people, I blacked out.
Investigators start digging into life inside the family home, pulling in Lisa's husband, Kevin Knafel, for a conversation about that violent night, surprising him with what they've already learned.
Elaborate more on how your relationship with Sabrina developed. Remember, Kevin, we asked you for the truth when we came here.
If we're getting into all this stuff, aren't I supposed to have my lawyer?
From the minute foster daughter Sabrina Zunich was in custody, Willoughby Hills, Ohio detectives knew they had Lisa Knafel's killer. The blood-curdling call dispatchers heard from Lisa's then 13-year-old daughter, Megan, sent police to the scene.
What is going on?
There, they find Sabrina covered in blood, a knife in her hand, and foster mom Lisa's lifeless body covered in stab wounds.
You had an argument or anything with Lisa last night?
No.
No?
Everything was fine.
Sabrina says she blacked out, claiming some type of amnesia.
Recall coming out of the bedroom with a knife in your hand?
No.
But her adopted little sister fully witnessed Sabrina repeatedly stab their mother.
Well, you had a knife and you stabbed Lisa.
I did.
Yes, you did. And Megan called the police.
That can't be true.
Bree, it is. I'm sorry.
I've never been a murderer.
While investigators knew Sabrina killed her foster mom, detectives soon grew puzzled by Lisa's husband, Kevin, specifically his behavior the night she was killed.
When Kevin got here that night, he was told that his wife had passed away. He didn't cry, he didn't show any emotions.
And didn't ask questions either.
Didn't even ask who did this. Wasn't even wondering who did this or how it happened, where it happened. No questions at all.
At the time, Kevin's stepdaughter, Megan, also noticed red flags. Now, after many years, a grown-up Megan can finally bring herself to talk about that night with True Crime News.
Ever since the murder, he just was acting very strange.
Megan says stepdad Kevin seemed more concerned with Sabrina than his wife, Lisa.
Didn't shed a tear at her funeral. The one thing that stuck out to me was he tried going to see Sabrina in the jail, which turned heads. And at her funeral, he asked if we think of Sabrina.
But what unfolded next is a true crime stunner. Detectives soon find text messages between Kevin and Sabrina. Racy messages that reveal Kevin was having a sexual relationship with his own 17-year-old foster daughter.
It started with leg massages. Once the leg massages, he kept telling her to go higher. And, she's like, well, I don't want to go high because I want to touch your privates. And he was like, that's okay if you do that. At that point, it just became a full-on blown relationship between Kevin and Sabrina.
Kevin agreed to speak with investigators. With his attorney by his side, he didn't cop a thing.
Trying to figure out what happened that night. His wife was brutally murdered here, and we're trying to help him, help us. He can help us in the investigation.
He wasn't within 100 miles of the house when that happened.
Turns out he was that far from the murder scene, but detectives didn't need Kevin's location or words to feed their suspicions. While behind bars, Sabrina started talking and offered up a case-solving bombshell.
It was Kevin's idea, and it was talked about after we were having sexual relations.
Sabrina tells cops that Kevin wanted to leave his wife, but he was worried that she would have custody of their youngest daughter. So he convinced Sabrina to kill Lisa and help him raise the child.
So the plan was me not to get caught, and me and him to live together with Haley, and me be a mother figure to her and have a relationship.
And apparently Kevin had another plan: collect on Lisa's $750,000 life insurance policy.
He got a new car, got a new trailer, redid the house, bought a house in Florida.
I just think that Kevin just thought that, they'll never be able to link me to this crime.
But he was linked to the crime, charged with conspiring to kill his wife Lisa, and the star witness against him was the foster daughter he manipulated.
The cooperation and planning.
Both Kevin and Sabrina are manipulators. They knew what they were doing.
Sabrina would plead guilty to killing her foster mother. Kevin was found guilty by an Ohio jury of conspiring in the murder. Megan says she'll never forgive either one of them for taking her mother, but police say Kevin is the reason Lisa's dead.
Kevin absolutely did manipulate her. She was a young 17-year-old innocent child that's been in and out of foster care her entire life, and Kevin knew that. He knew that she was vulnerable, and he took advantage of that situation.